Hello everyone. Now the topic for the discussion is rabies. As we are discussing viral zoonosis, two important points must click to you immediately. This is viral infection and this is zoonotic infection. So let's see rabies, what it is. Rabies, it is also called as hydrophobia. One of the most important thing that you must know, and it is likely to be asked in your oral exams, it is the only communicable disease of man which is always fatal. So if examiner will ask you 100% fatal disease example, you should have to answer rabies. Now as we said, rabies, it is a zoonotic disease. Mainly it affects carnivorous, warm-blooded animals. It can affect dogs, cats, jackals, wolves, and further it can affect bats, raccoons, skunks, etc. Now, primary infection, it is seen in animals. How it is transmitted to man? From animals, rabies is transmitted to man by bites of rabid animals, or if rabid animal scratches to the person, or even leaks of rabid animals can also transmit rabies. What is causative agent of rabies? You know it is viral infection. So here you are supposed to know what is name of the virus responsible for causing rabies. Rabies, it is caused by Lassa virus type 1. And this virus, it has affinity for central nervous system, and this virus mainly affects central nervous system in man. What are the important clinical characteristics of rabies? There are 5 important points about rabies. First thing, it is related to incubation period. Incubation period of rabies, it is long and it is variable. There are several factors which can affect incubation period of rabies. This part we are going to discuss in next session. But right now just remember, incubation period is long and it is variable. Duration of illness is short. As we said, Lassa virus type 1, it mainly affects central nervous system. So clinically, disease is characterized by encephalitis and myelitis. Regarding prognosis of disease, it is highly fatal disease or it is highly fatal illness. But at the same time, it is preventable disease. Rabies can be prevented. This picture is somewhat similar to AIDS, where we can say incubation period is quite long and regarding fatality, AIDS is also fatal illness. AIDS is also preventable illness. So just remember this comparison related to fatal or fatality of the disease and related to preventable aspect, rabies and AIDS. Regarding problem statement of rabies, let's try to understand geographic distribution. Now whatever different countries are there in the world, we can divide it into different parts, like those countries where rabies have never been appeared. So there are certain countries where rabies have never been appeared. And there are certain countries which achieved rabies free status. So what are these countries which achieved rabies free status? Examples includes Australia, Taiwan, Ireland, Japan, New Zealand, Malta, Finland, Norway, Sweden, UK, and still other countries are there. Now how these countries they achieved rabies free status. For achieving rabies free status, these countries conducted vigorous campaigns for elimination of rabies and they achieved success. So we said some countries where rabies have never been introduced, some countries where rabies was present, but through their vigorous campaigns related to elimination of rabies, they achieved rabies free status. Is there any part in India where we have achieved a rabies free status? Yes, in India it includes Union territories of Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Islands. These are the areas free from rabies. Now we said rabies free status, rabies free area. What is meaning of it? Rabies free area means no indigenous case of rabies occurred in man or in any animal species for 2 years. So what things are taken into consideration? Total duration of 2 years. So whenever in last 2 years no indigenous case reported from the particular area of rabies in man or in any animal species, that area can be called as rabies free area. Remember the keyword here is indigenous. No indigenous case in man also and in animals also. Duration is 2 years. Now what are the countries where we can find presence of rabies? So currently rabies occurs in more than 150 countries and territories. And in these countries, the natural reservoirs for rabies, it includes different carnivorous animals plus bats. So these are the important reservoirs. Examples of carnivorous animals just now we have seen. So these are all natural reservoirs. But as far as human cases are concerned, the most important source of infection for human cases includes rabid dogs. So I repeat once again, rabid dogs are the most important source of infection for human rabies throughout the world except USA. In USA, bats, raccoons and skunks are playing important role in transmission of rabies. But in other parts of the world, don't forget rabid dogs which are playing major role in human rabies. And it's about 99% of human cases of rabies are caused by rabid dogs. So whatever cases are occurring, 99% cases you will find transmission of rabies from dogs. What is the statistical figure related to number of people affected by rabid dogs? So globally, these are about more than 3.3 billion people they are affected from rabid dogs. Please note the unit here. I said 3.3 billion people they are affected from rabid dogs. We are talking about infection in man which is transmitted from rabid dogs throughout the world. Now let's go to Asia and Africa. And what is the scenario in Asia and Africa? In rural parts of Asia and Africa, the annual or yearly estimated deaths, it includes 55,000. So near about 55,000 deaths they occur in rural areas of Asia and Africa due to human rabies. In India, annual estimated deaths, it includes 20,000 deaths. Now let's compare the at-risk population in India and at-risk population in Africa. In India, at-risk population includes 2 persons per 1 lakh population. So out of 1 lakh people, 2 persons they have risk of rabies. And this risk is a double in Africa. So at risk population in Africa, it includes 4 per 1 lakh population. So simply the number of people getting exposed to the risk of rabies are more in Africa as or double in Africa as compared to India. Now let's try to understand the age group and rabies. Throughout the world, basically rabies can affect people of all age group, but most commonly rabies it is seen in children below 15 years of age. And in this age group, that is children below 15 years of age group, 5 times higher incidence we can see in northwestern part of United Republic of Tanzania. So simply if globally we talk about the age incidence of rabies, these are mainly children below 15 years of age. They are infected with rabies and incidence is noted 5 times higher in this age group in Tanzania. Now let's try to understand the prophylaxis related to rabies. Basically in introduction what we said, it is preventable disease. So prophylaxis or vaccination is available, but remember this vaccination it includes both strategies, pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis. So let's see what is the statistical data related to the prophylaxis. Now globally more than 15 million people they receive rabies vaccination or rabies prophylaxis every year, and about 40% children between 5 to 14 years of age group they requires post exposure prophylaxis or post exposure immunization. Right now we said most commonly affected age group is children below 15 years of age group. Again, from this age group, if we make a subgroup, that is 5 to 14 years age group, in this age group there are about 40% children which requires post exposure immunization. Basically, this is most important strategy related to the rabies post exposure immunization. If post exposure immunization or post exposure prophylaxis is not given, what can be the scenario in the world? So in absence of post exposure immunization or post exposure prophylaxis, near about 3,27,000 deaths may occur in Asia and Africa alone every year. So this is the major factor which reduces mortality related to rabies. So we said in absence of post-exposure prophylaxis, 3,27,000 deaths may occur annually in Asia and Africa alone. So this is short session related to the rabies. So we tried to understand what is rabies. So don't forget zoonotic infection, viral infection caused by Lassa virus type 1, animal transmission. So it is transmitted either by bites or scratches or licks of rabid animals to humans. In human, it mainly affects central nervous system, and clinically disease is characterized by encephalitis or myelitis, and it is the only communicable disease which is fatal. And one of the important characteristic feature related to clinical aspect is incubation period of rabies is long and it is variable, but duration of illness of rabies is short. So this is a small session about rabies introduction and problem statement. Soon we will see another session on epidemiological determinants of rabies. Epidemiological determinants. So let's try to understand agent factors, details of agent factors. The causative agent of rabies is Lassa virus type 1. This virus is a bullet-shaped virus, and based on classification, it is RNA virus and it is neurotropic virus. What is meaning of neurotropic virus? It means Lassa virus type 1 has affinity for central nervous system. It affects central nervous system and it causes damage to the central nervous system. So in addition to this example, that is Lassa virus type 1, which is a neurotropic virus, another virus example is poliovirus. So poliovirus, it is also having affinity for central nervous system. So we said causative agent is Lassa virus type 1. This is neurotropic virus. This is RNA virus. This virus belongs to the family Rhabdoviridae. Now, when we said name of this agent, we said it is type 1. So what it indicates, there are several serotypes, but most important serotypes of Lassa virus, it includes serotype 1, 2, 3 and 4. So out of these, serotype 1 is responsible for causing rabies, whereas serotypes 2, 3, and 4, they are responsible for producing rabies-like disease, and these serotypes, they are called as rabies-related viruses. And as far as disease is concerned, which is caused by serotypes 2, 3, and 4, the disease or rabies-like disease can be seen in humans also and in animals also. One more thing to understand is, for prevention of rabies, currently anti-rabies vaccines are available, but these vaccines, they do not provide protection against these rabies related viruses. So, regarding agent factor, the most important thing, you must know its name, Lassa virus. You must know its serotype 1, because it is only serotype 1 which is responsible for producing rabies, and other serotypes 2, 3, and 4, these are rabies related viruses responsible for producing rabies like disease in man as well as in animals. In this slide, you can see image of rabies virus. It is schematic diagram of rabies virus. Here you can note the shape of the virus, which is bullet shaped, and please note the viral nucleic acid, that is RNA, ribonucleic acid. In this slide, please note the most important viral antigen. It is glycoprotein antigen. Note the presence of glycoprotein antigen on Lassa virus type 1 or rabies virus. Now let us try to understand different antigens related to Lassa virus type 1. So depending on its location, the antigens are present on the membrane, and this is called as membrane antigen. And there is internal antigen. Membrane antigen is G protein. Here G stands for glycoprotein. So it is glycoprotein antigen, and internal antigen is nucleoprotein antigen. Out of these two antigens, that is glycoprotein antigen and nucleoprotein antigen, its G protein, that is glycoprotein antigen, it is capable of inducing formation of virus neutralizing antibodies. I repeat, it's a G protein which is capable of inducing formation of virus neutralizing antibodies. And presence of neutralizing antibodies in the blood or serum of man or animal, it is considered as an index of protection against infection with rabies. So what it means, all those persons, all those animals which shows presence of these neutralizing antibodies, they are protected against rabies virus. This virus, it is excreted in the saliva of infected animals. So this virus is present in the saliva of infected animals. Now regarding rabies virus, there are two important types. One is called as street virus and the other type is called as fixed virus. Now, what is the difference between two? What do you mean by street virus and what do you mean by fixed virus? So let us try to understand this. Street virus, it is recovered from naturally occurring cases of rabies. So whatever rabies cases are occurring naturally, the virus which is recovered from such cases is street virus. Now what is fixed virus? Fixed virus, it is recovered from serial brain to brain passage of street virus. So what is done here? Street virus, it is passed from brains of animals and it is passed serially. So after serial passage, whatever virus we will get at the end, it is called as fixed virus. Street virus, it is pathogenic for all mammals. So street virus, we said it is recovered from naturally occurring cases of rabies, and this virus, it is pathogenic for all mammals. Regarding street virus, one of the most important thing is it shows long incubation period and it shows variable incubation period. This incubation period in case of dogs may vary from 20 days to 60 days. Whereas fixed virus, under certain conditions, fixed virus is pathogenic to humans or it is pathogenic to mammals. What are these conditions? So we said street virus, it is pathogenic to all mammals, but fixed virus, it is pathogenic under certain conditions, like parenteral administration of anti-rabies vaccine if it is not adequately inactivated. So this is one condition where fixed virus may prove pathogenic. Now this virus, it is modified virus, whereas street virus, it is naturally occurring virus, but fixed virus is modified virus. How we modified it? We modified street virus by serial passage, brain to brain passage of street virus. And during this modification, incubation period of fixed virus is progressively reduced. And this incubation period for fixed virus is only 4 days to 6 days. So we said street virus and fixed virus. Regarding pathogenicity, what is the difference? Street virus is pathogenic to all mammals, whereas fixed virus is pathogenic under certain conditions. For street virus, incubation period is long and it is variable, whereas for fixed virus, incubation period is progressively reduced. What is source of infection? For humans, as far as human cases of rabies is concerned, the most important source of infection is saliva of rabid animals. Rabid animals, as we discussed, we can find rabies in all warm-blooded animals, and it is most commonly seen in dogs, it is seen in cats, it is seen in bats and many other animals. As far as dogs or cats are concerned, the virus may remain present in saliva for 3 to 4 days. Occasionally, virus may remain present for 5 days to 6 days before onset of clinical symptoms. The virus, it is present during the course of illness till death. So to summarize what we can say, all those dogs or all those cats or all those animals which are infected with rabies, even prior to the manifestations of rabies, their saliva may contain rabies virus, and this period is near about 5 to 6 days before onset of clinical symptoms. Now, once clinical symptoms occurs in these animals, virus is present in their saliva. At the same time, virus remains in saliva of these infected animals till their death. So, most important thing to understand here is presence of virus prior to the manifestation of rabies in case of animals. So even if animals are not showing manifestations, if they are bitten by another rabid animals, they are capable of transmitting rabies virus to man. Now let's proceed further and try to understand host factors related to rabies. All warm-blooded animals, they are susceptible to rabies. So examples, it includes dogs, cats, bats, it includes jackals, foxes, even rabies can be seen in mongoose also. So there are so many different types of animals where rabies can occur, or the other way we can say these animals are susceptible to rabies. Now what is the age group in case of man which is most commonly affected in India? In India, rabies, it is most commonly seen from first year of age to 14 years of age. And in man, rabies is dead end infection. So commonly affected age group in India is 1 to 14 years of age. It is very important to understand the people who are having higher risk of developing rabies. Or in other words, we can say what are the high risk group for rabies. Why we are supposed to know this? Because this part is related with prevention of rabies. So which people have higher risk of developing rabies? It mainly includes laboratory workers, but here specifically those laboratory workers which are working with rabies virus. Another high risk group, it includes veterinary staff which is involved in treatment of dogs, cats and other animals. Or these can be dog handlers, or these can be hunters which are having higher risk of developing rabies. So high risk group for rabies, I repeat it once again, laboratory workers working with rabies virus, veterinary staff, dog handlers and hunters. How rabies is transmitted? What is mode of transmission of rabies? So in introduction only we said rabies, also known as hydrophobia, and this disease is transmitted by bites of rabid animals. The most commonly involved animal in transmission of rabies is rabid dogs. And involvement of rabid dogs in transmission of rabies, it is seen in most part of the world. Here there are few places with exception where dogs or rabid dogs, they are not playing major role in transmission, or rather they are not involved in transmission of rabies. So these places, it includes USA and Canada. So in case of USA and in case of Canada, the disease is not transmitted by rabid dogs, but it is transmitted by rabid bats. So in USA and in Canada, bats are playing major role in transmission of rabies. In addition to bite, even if rabid animals they scratch, or if there is licking by rabid animals, even this can transmit infection. So we said it is either biting by rabid animals, or scratching by rabid animals, or licking by rabid animals. So all these things can transmit rabies virus. And most important animals involved in transmission of rabies is rabid dogs. So I repeat, whatever cases occurs globally, 99% human infection, it is mainly caused by rabid dogs, or the rabies virus is mainly transmitted by rabid dogs. There are two rare modes of transmission in addition to biting, scratching and licking by rabid animals. The rare mode of transmission, it includes inhalation of aerosolized rabies virus. Now this exposure, it is called as non-bite route of exposure. This exposure, that is inhalation of aerosolized rabies virus, it may occur in laboratory workers. In other people, possibility is very less. So in laboratory workers, you can suspect this mode of transmission. Another rare mode of transmission, it is related with the organ transplantation, and mainly it is corneal transplant, which is involved in transmission of rabies virus. But again, this transmission is very rare mode of transmission. So regarding mode of transmission, we can summarize it as bite exposures and non-bite exposures. Bite exposure, in addition to bite, there can be scratching or there can be licking by rabid animals. And non-bite exposure, which is related with inhalation or which is related with organ transplantation. Is there any possibility of transmission of rabies from human to human or person to person? Human to human transmission or person to person transmission, on theoretical background it can occur. So possibility is there that disease may get transmitted from person to person, but no such cases have been documented. So there is no documentation of human to human transmission of rabies. What are the various ways by which rabies is not transmitted? Rabies is not transmitted by ingestion of raw meat or by ingestion of other tissues infected with rabies. And the casual contact, such as touching the person with rabies or contact with non-infectious fluid or non-infectious tissues, or whenever persons handling or taking care of rabies patients, they have contact with urine, blood or feces, this contact, it is not associated with risk of rabies infection. Another important thing to understand about this virus is rabies virus, it becomes non-infectious when it dries out. And when the virus will get dry out? When it is exposed to sunlight. So on exposure to physical agent sunlight, the virus will get dry and it becomes non-infectious. Another environmental conditions, it may affect the rate at which virus becomes inactive. And most important in this, if the material containing the virus is dry, virus is considered as non-infectious. So it's very simple thing. Keyword here to understand is if the virus is dried, which can be dried by various environmental conditions, most important being sunlight. On exposure to sunlight, virus gets dried, and once the virus gets dried, it becomes non-infectious. So this is about the epidemiological determinants related with rabies. Let's review what we studied in this session on rabies. Are you ready for it? So, what is rabies? What is another name for rabies? I think all of you know. Rabies is also called as hydrophobia. What is meaning of hydrophobia? Hydro is water and phobia is fear. So in rabies we get characteristic manifestation, that is fear of water. Hydrophobia is characteristic feature which is seen only in human cases of rabies. It is not seen in animal cases of rabies. Rabies is zoonotic disease, or to be specifically we can say it is anthropozoonosis. Now already we have studied the terminologies related with zoonosis. So what is meaning of anthropozoonosis? It means transmission of disease. It is seen from vertebrate animals to humans. And simultaneously you should know the another terminology, that is zooanthroponosis. What is meaning of zooanthroponosis? It means diseases are transmitted from man to other vertebrate animals. One more terminology you are supposed to know at this moment. It is amphizoonosis. Now can you guess the meaning of amphizoonosis? Yes, you are right. Transmission will occur in both direction. That is, diseases may get transmitted from man to vertebrate animals as well as from other vertebrate animals to humans. So we discussed three important terminologies, that is anthropozoonosis, zooanthroponosis and amphizoonosis. Rabies is zoonotic disease. What is causative agent of rabies? Rabies is caused by Lassa virus type 1. And how it is transmitted? It is transmitted by bites of rabid animals. Which rabid animals can transmit rabies? So as we discussed, rabies, it is seen in all warm-blooded animals. These animals can be either wild animals or domestic animals. And which is the most important animal involved in transmission of rabies? It is rabid dog. In different parts of the world, near about 99% cases of rabies are transmitted by rabid dogs. At global level, you should know few important examples where disease or rabies is not transmitted by rabid dogs. These areas include USA and Canada. In these places, the important animals which are involved in transmission of rabies are bats. What are important clinical characteristics that we can see in cases of rabies? There is hydrophobia, as we discussed. In addition, there is aerophobia. These two are most important manifestations that we can see in cases of rabies. Hydrophobia is the pathognomonic feature of rabies, and as far as aerophobia is concerned, according to some people, aerophobia is considered as pathognomonic feature of rabies. Thus, from clinical aspect of rabies, there are two important pathognomonic features of rabies, and these are hydrophobia and aerophobia. At the same time, you must know another pathognomonic feature, but it is related to the investigation part. So what it is? It is presence of Negri bodies. These are cytoplasmic inclusion bodies. So presence of Negri bodies is considered as pathognomonic feature. What are the areas in India which are free from rabies, or we may call it as rabies-free areas. These areas includes Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar Islands. In addition to these areas, at global level, there are certain countries which are rabies free. Few examples includes Japan, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia, Norway, etc. What type of virus is Lassa virus type 1? Based on presence of nucleic acid, rabies virus or Lassa virus type 1 is RNA virus, and based on its affinity, it is neurotropic virus. To which system neurotropic viruses have affinity? So, as the name suggests, neurotropic viruses have affinity for central nervous system. And as this virus invades central nervous system, we get another important manifestations, that is encephalitis and myelitis. So to summarize, the most important manifestations of rabies, it includes hydrophobia, aerophobia, encephalitis and myelitis. Two more things about rabies virus is street virus and fixed virus. Street virus, it is obtained from naturally occurring cases of rabies, whereas fixed virus is modified virus. And how it is modified? It is modified by serial passage of street virus. Whether street virus is pathogenic? Yes, street virus is pathogenic to all mammals. And what about fixed virus? Fixed virus is pathogenic under certain conditions. There is one more difference between these two viruses, which is related to the incubation period. So incubation period is long in case of street virus, whereas incubation period is reduced in case of fixed virus. In addition to street virus and fixed virus, you should know about serotypes of rabies virus or Lassa virus. How many serotypes are there? There are 4 serotypes. Lassa virus type 1, type 2, type 3 and type 4. But all these 4 serotypes, they do not cause rabies. Rabies is caused by only Lassa virus type 1. Remaining serotypes, that is type 2, 3 and 4, they mainly produces rabies-like illness. Regarding prevention, related with serotype 1 and the other serotypes. Prophylaxis is available only for Lassa virus serotype 1 and not for other serotypes. What age group is most commonly affected in India? So, as far as rabies is concerned, most commonly affected age group includes children below 15 years of age. Is there any other disease where same age group, that is children below the age of 15 years, are affected? And the example should be from NCDs, that is non-communicable diseases. So remember, it's rheumatic heart disease where same age group is affected. But rabies is communicable and RHD is non-communicable disease. Regarding transmission of rabies, all of you know, and most of the students, they mention bites. Yes, it is one of the most important mode of transmission, but at the same time, you must not forget scratching and licking by rabid animals can also transmit rabies. And in addition to this, the rare modes of transmission, which includes organ transplantation and inhalation of aerosolized rabies virus. Now it's time to test your knowledge. So what you understood from this lecture on epidemiological determinants of rabies and problem statement of rabies. The must know part, it includes what is rabies, what is the causative agent of rabies, how rabies is transmitted, that is mode of transmission of rabies, what important characteristic manifestations that we can get in rabies, what age group is most commonly affected in rabies, what features of rabies are considered as pathognomonic features. The better to know points includes what is meaning of rabies free areas, what are the examples of rabies free areas at global level as well as in India, which animal is most commonly involved in transmission of rabies throughout the world, which animal plays important role in transmission of rabies in USA and Canada, what are the differences between street virus and fixed virus. I hope you understood the introduction to the rabies, problem statement of rabies, and epidemiological determinants of rabies. Thank you.